Hello all, today in this video, it's a continuation of the previous video. In the previous video, we have worked with the cancer dataset and the cancer dataset was showing better results. But in order to increase that results, we are just using grid search. That grid search method is going to display explained over here in this code. So as in the previous code, we have to import the libraries like pandas, numpy and sklearn. From sklearn, we are going to use metrics in order to display the performance metrics parameters such as the accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. Then that we have to call the data set. Since we are calling the learn data set itself, that is the load breast cancer data set itself, we are just using the data sets library, then SVM, since we are using the support vector mission along with the grid search model. So that is then we are loading the libraries and the calling that loading the data set and calling that data set into a variable called cancer. We can run the code. So previously, if you are following the previous video itself, previous video means you may know the dictionary values like data, target names, DESCR, feature names, and file names. So in the second cell, we are just displaying the X variable and the Y variable. In the X variable, we are calling the features, and in the Y variables, we are calling the target. The feature variables include the data, then feature names. The target variables just include the target. So we are just displaying the feature variables by using the print function, and also the target variables by using the print function. Then we have to just split the x training and testing variables, that is x train, y train, then x test and y test. In order to split that, we are just using the train test split function. So in that function, we are calling the features and also the target variables, and the size, which test size which we are choosing is 30, that is 33.3, that is 0.30, which is the test size is 30% and the train size is 40%. If you need some other person means you can just change the values over here. The random state I have displayed as 101. You have, if you want to work with some other random state means, please change the values. So now we can just split the variables. So once it is split, we have to move to the grid search CV. Since we need better results, we are just using this grid search CV. In this grid search CV, we are using different variables in a grid variable called C, gamma, and kernel. The kernel which we are using is RVF, and the gamma variables, we are having 5 gamma variables, and we are having C also 5 5 variables. So what will the code run as? In the first iteration, it will see the value for 0.11, then 0.1, that is C value is 0.1 and gamma value will be 0.1. C value will be 0.1 and gamma value will be 0.0.01. As such, the iterations will be going on, and once the iteration is end, it will be just close. So to run the iterations, we are just using this grid search CV function, and also we are to train this, we are just using the train variable and the test variable. So if you see means, as I said, C variable fitting 5 folds, since we are using 5-fold model, it is having 5 folds. So for 5 things, you may see this 1, the first value, that is C is 0.11, C is 0.11, that is it will be displayed for 5 times. Not only for this, for every variable, that is 0.1 and 0.01 here, this will also be shown for 5 times. Then C 0.1 and gamma 0.01, that will also be made for 5 folds, since this is a 5-fold cross validation model. So then once it is done, the values will be occurred and it will be moved in taken and the next thing. So we, in order to find the parameters and its estimators, we are just printing it, and we are checking what are the parameters which we have used, the iterations, then probability, random state shrinking, what are the parameters which we have called. Then it will be printed over here. Then we can just check the accuracy values, that is other not only accuracy, precision, recall and F1 score. So just I am running, so there is some increment. Previously if you saw means I think it is 93 or 92 something, so here there is some increment. So not only this data set, if you want to work with some other data set means, and here the C value and gamma value you can just change and work with the different C and gamma value, you can say some variation. So this is the grid search support vector mission code. So in the next video you can see some other machine learning basic Python code. Thank you.